children. Now we are going to discuss about the next episode from our unit chemical effects of electric currents. Some questions to you from previous class. What is the difference between good conductors and poor conductors? Can you remember it? What is the difference between the good conductor allows electric current to pass easily, then poor conductor, most of the substance can conduct electricity under certain conditions, but some of them conduct very badly. Such conductors are called poor conductors. Then we made with a tester. We made a tester with LED. Okay, question is this one. From LED, how many leads comes out? One or two? Yes. Try to remember. Two leads. Okay. Both the leads are of the same length. One is a bit longer and it is connected to which terminal? Positive terminal, and another one is to the negative terminal of the battery. Then another question is we made a tester with a magnetic effect of electric current. We know whenever electric current passes through a conductor, a magnetic field is produced around it. Based on this principle, we made this tester. What is the advantage of this LED tester and this magnetic effect of electric current using tester? These two testers can use to find, even though the current is very weak, we can find the presence of current. We can find the presence of current even though the current is very weak. Next question to you. Can distilled water conduct electricity? Is it possible? Is it possible for distilled water to conduct electricity? What about your answer? Can you say, is it possible? Yes or no? No, it cannot conduct electricity. Then another question to you. Why tap water, water from pump, water from well, etc. are called not as a pure water? Why we say this? That means water from tap, well, and also from pipe, etc. are not pure, because how we find that these water are not pure? Because in that water there is some salt or minerals dissolved. Some kind of minerals dissolved in it. Some of the minerals is good for health, but these minerals dissolved in water, because of that these waters are say as not pure. Now, from our observation, we got idea that some of the liquids can conduct electricity and some others are not conducting electricity. Another question to you, most of the solutions conduct electricity in its acid, base or salts. When acid, base or salt dissolved in solutions, then they are all conducting. So these are the things we discussed. Now we want to remember what are the effects of electric current do when it passes through some electrolytes or some solutions. Now, what things we want to understand? What are the effects that electricity can do when it passes through certain solution. When electricity passes through solutions, what effect can it do in it? For that, one of the activity to you is given. Take out two discarded torch cell, and from that carefully remove the carbon rods. Take two discarded cell and take out the carbon rods from it, and clean its cups, and then these cups, take some water in a beaker and add some salt or lemon juice. By adding salt or lemon juice, the conductivity of this solution can increase. Now, these two carbon electrodes, that means carbon rods, which we are getting from the cell, placed in the solution, that means the water mixed with salt or lemon, and these cups thoroughly clean and wrapped with some copper wire and connect it to a battery. And observe after 3 or 4 minutes what you can find in this. The activity is to you what electric current can do when it passes through a solution. To find it, do this activity. What is the activity? What are the things you required for this? Two carbon rods that you can get from discarded torch cell, and then taking after it, clean the cup of it thoroughly and wrap the cup with the copper wire, and then take a beaker and fill 3/4 of it with the water, then add some salt, 2 tablespoons of salt or some lemon juice. By adding the salt or lemon juice, the conductivity of it can increase. And keep these electrodes in this solution, and the cup remains outside the solution. And observe after 3-4 minutes, you can see here bubbles are forming. Here you can see bubbles are forming. So you observe here some chemical change. What you observe here? Some chemical change. What is actually chemical change that you studied in your previous class? Chemical change is the change that take place when one or more new substance is formed. That means when electricity passes through a solution, one or more new substance forming, and that process is called chemical change. One or more new substance forming by passage of electric current through the solution. By passage of electric current through the solution, when one or more new substance is formed, then that reaction and that process is called a chemical change. What is chemical change? Chemical change is the formation of new substance in a solution. That means when we comparing with the previous, we can find some new substance in it. Here you can see, here that means here bubbles are formed here because there is some chemical change. That means a new substance is formed here that were not here before. That were not before in this solution. So new substance is formed and such type of reaction is called or change is called chemical change. That is called what is a chemical change. And you see, a scientist Nicholson discovered that when electric current passes through water, that means there are in the sea, this is the water, and electric current passes through this one, there is oxygen and hydrogen gases formed on this electrode. See, here we connected with the positive of the cell, and that electrode we used to say as anode, and negative of the cell is connected to this electrode and it is called cathode. There are two electrodes. There are two electrodes in this we can see. One is anode. How we can find it as anode? Because when the positive of the cell is connecting terminal, the terminal or the electrode which is connected to the positive of the battery is called anode, and the electrode which is connected to the negative of the battery is called what is cathode. There are two electrodes, but here one of the electrodes we get what is oxygen. Oxygen is getting in the positive electrode. Oxygen is always forming in the positive electrode here, and hydrogen in the negative electrode. Hydrogen in the negative electrode. Now you want to remember about the findings of Nicholson. When water is electrolysis, what is actually electrolysis? Electrolysis means it is composed of two words, electro and lysis. Electro means electricity and lysis means breakdown. That means with the help of electricity there will take place a breakdown. With the help of electricity breakdown is occurring. Because of that before the activity we got what is in two electrodes, what is bubbles forming. In one of the electrode there is oxygen and in the another electrode there is hydrogen. Okay, due to this electrolysis there is a chemical change occur. Chemical change occur. Chemical reaction or due to chemical reaction there occurs a chemical change. Due to this chemical reaction, what are the things can happen? That means a new substance can formed. That means a new substance, that is gases formed. One of the observation we got as before. Sometimes some metals can deposited. Sometimes some metals can deposited due to what is a chemical reaction or chemical change. What can happen? Gases can be formed, and second one is what is there can be some metals deposited on in some one of the electrodes, and there is also changes the concentration of the solution. There is also changes the concentration of the solution. This chemical change that depends on the rate of chemical change depends on the nature of the solution and also the electrode we used. Nature of the solution and the electrode we used. That means a chemical change or chemical reaction rate depends on two factors on what is what kind of electrode we used. On the electrode what type we used. And second one is nature of solution. Nature of the solution. These two factors it depends. Now, due to chemical reaction, what are the things can happen in the solution? That means gases can be formed. Second one, what is some metals can be deposited. And third one, what is concentration of the solution can be changed. 3 points you want to remember. On in the electrodes there will form certain gases in some cases. In some other cases, what we can observe, there are some metals. Metal is depositing in one of the electrode. Some metal is depositing in one of the electrode. And the third one, what we can observe, there is some changes in the color of the solution. There is some changes in the color of the solution or concentration of the solution. So that rate of reaction depends on what is the electrode which we used. That means if instead of one type of electrode, if we use another one type of electrode, then the rate of reaction can change. And also it depends on nature of the solution. It depends on the nature of the solution also. Okay. Now, Bujo want to know some vegetables or fruits can conduct electricity. But what was his idea? He want to know, that means Bujo want to know some vegetables or fruits can conduct electricity. See, for that he cut a potato and in it two copper, that means ends of the, see, ends of the our tester enter in it, and this was the tester. And connected to battery. See, now what he want to do? He want to find out can this potato conduct, it can conduct electricity through it. So he arranged in this way. So at that time some calls came from his mother, and he went to her, and he forgot about this activity. And after some time, when he returned, he showed that near the positive terminals, connected the positive terminals of this copper wire inserted into the potato, he see a greenish blue color. But other side there is no change. That means what he observed, near the positive terminal of the battery connected in the potato, what color he observed? Some greenish blue is here is appeared, but here no color is appeared. Now he repeated this same experiment for activity for different times, but always this color is obtained. Where on in the positive side of the conductor, positive side of the conductor in the potato, but the other side is not getting the color. From this, he got the idea that if we want to find out the positive terminal of a concealed battery, there we cannot find a positive or negative. For a concealed battery, if we want to check the positive terminal, we can use this method. The terminal where the greenish color is appearing, greenish blue is appearing, that will be the positive terminal. So that is the observation. But actually, what he was doing, he want to know if the potato can conduct electricity. But what he got, that is how to find a positive terminal of a battery which we don't know. That means how we can find the positive terminal of a battery that we cannot know, or that is not marked on the battery, then we can find by using this method that he got. But actually what he was doing, he want to know if this potato can conduct it. The same way is that when the experiment is doing in science, scientists do some experiment to find one thing, but they got some other findings. This is the general method in most of the cases. That is the observation here also at Ojo got. Okay, now see. Now his experiment, that means his activity, can you remember what are the things required? This is the compass box, and above we winding this copper wire and connected to positive, and this deflection. That means instead of bulb we are using this compass. Here we using what is magnetic effect of electric current. Here we using what is magnetic effect of electric currents. Now we want to discuss another one term, that is the electroplating. What is the new term? Electroplating. Just before, while we discussing electrolysis, actually what is electrolysis is the breakdown of solution when electric current passes through it. That means breakdown, there are two kinds of ions can be formed. One is positive and another one is negative. And the electroplating is the one of the major application of what is electrolysis. One of the major application of what is electrolysis. Here now we are discussing what is actually electroplating. Electroplating is the process by which we coating one metal over another. That means electroplating is a device, is a process or is a work in which we deposit one metal over another, and that is for our requirements. Suppose we know what is some bicycle handle and also tap. That is bathroom tap, etc. are very glazing or very shining way, or some ornaments such as what is gold plated ornaments and also silver plated ornaments. These are all done on what is low cost metals. That means electroplating actually what is it is the process of coating on metal over the surface of another which is less costly or some other important character with it. Now here see how the electroplating is done. Here for us an activity is given. For that we require copper sulfate, then water, then distilled water, then some salt, then also dilute sulfuric acid, etc. Now electroplating by using copper sulfate solution. Electroplating by using copper sulfate solution. See here. Now here in a beaker. See, take a distilled water and it fill with some common salt and also some drops of dilute sulfuric acid, and add to this one some copper sulfate and dissolve. Then see here we know what is the color of copper sulfate. Its color is blue color. Here two copper plates required. One copper plate and another copper plate. This copper plate is connected to battery. This copper plate we can connect it to battery. Now see, after some time, after 15 or 20 minutes after, when you take out this electrode, that means here two electrodes on, that is connected to positive. This electrode is positive electrode. What is the name of this electrode? Positive electrode is called what is anode. And this electrode that is connected to negative, that it is called cathode. Okay. Here see, in the copper sulfate, there are two ions. One is copper, another sulfate. Copper 2 plus and sulfate 2 minus. Okay. These copper sulfate ions with a positive charge. Copper sulfate ions with a positive charge that moves towards the negative electrode, and from there this copper 2 plus ion reaching here take 2 electron from it and it become copper and deposited on this electrode. So in the cathode these copper ions after reaching absorb 2 electrons and deposited as copper atoms. So here you see these ions are taken from this electrolyte. So what will happen? This electrolyte number of copper ions decrease if there is no copper ion coming to this. But see, when one copper ion get deposited in this cathode or negative electrode, at the same time, here you see a copper atom breaks into copper ions and enter into the solution. That is, from this, a copper atom leaves 2 electrons and enter into the solution. So the number of electrons in this, so the number of copper ions in this does not change. The process continues, so the copper ions, more and more copper ions coming to this at the same rate here copper atoms depositing. So we can observe the color after taking the electrode, this cathode or negative electrode, in which we can see the deposition of what is copper, and here the thickness of this one gradually decreasing because each copper atom leaving to this electrolyte after giving 2 electron. This process is happening in this way. This copper is depositing in this electrode. In this way the copper is depositing in the electrode. This what we can observe in this processor. This what we can observe here, the electrode plating of what is copper on this electrode. If suppose this Bojo got only one copper plate and he got what is another as a carbon rod. Then to deposit copper, in which electrode he will connect. That means here is copper sulfate as before. To get deposit copper, which electrode is taken as among this, which one is taken as positive and negative? Here the copper plate is taken as positive and the carbon rod is taken as negative. Then the copper is depositing over this carbon rod. Okay. Okay. We discussed about electroplating of copper, and in it what is actually deposited? Copper deposited over a carbon rod, and also copper deposited on the negative electrode called cathode. Negative electrode is called cathode. Here, what is actually electroplating? Electroplating is the process by which we coat a thin layer of a suitable metal over another substance. We coat or we plate a thin layer of a metal which is required that over another surface is called what is electroplating. Here in our previous discussion we electroplated what is copper over carbon rods, and also at first copper we electroplated over copper rod itself, copper plate itself. Okay. Now some of the most important uses of electroplating, that means it is widely used in industry and in our day-to-day activities also. So first of all, you see chromium. Importance of chromium. Chromium has a shining appearance. Chromium, it has got a shining appearance, but what is the shining appearance? What is the appearance of chromium? Shining appearance. And what is its speciality? It does not corrode. That means chromium does not corrode. That means it does not lose in the form of, it does not react with water and lose as a metal lose as metal oxide. So it does not corrode, and also it resists scratches. It resists scratches. See, what is the importance of chromium? Shining appearance, does not corrode, resist scratches. Once again, what is it? Chromium, shining appearance. Does not corrode, resist scratches. But it is costly. That means its cost is small. So we cannot make appliance or parts of any machines or anything with this chromium because it is costly. So what we do, we electroplate it with some examples, bicycle handle and parts of the motor car, and also bathing, and also with what is lighter in the stove, etc. In so many cases, we using by the electroplating of what is chromium. In doing that way, we can get good quality. That means does not corrode, resist scratches, will get a shining appearance, and also we get with less cost. That is the importance of electroplating of chromium. Then another one application of electroplating is jewelry makers. Jewelry makers, they electroplate with gold or silver, etc. on some less costly metals. That means jewelry makers also using the device of electroplating. What they actually do, they electroplate with what is gold. We know what is electroplated gold ornaments, and also with silver electroplated ornaments. But the ornaments on which these metals coated, they are very cheap, but we get just like the shining of gold or silver by doing this way. Okay. And another one is to store food, we use tin cans. To store food, we use tin cans. Storing food in tin cans, what is the advantage of this? Means when I am electroplated with the tin, that this tin is less reactive. What is the importance of tin? It is less reactive than that of what is iron. So it is less reactive, hence the food materials does not come in contact with iron inside. That means outer covering is what is this tin. So the food inside it does not come in contact with the iron. That is, iron is more reactive. So the food is not come in contact with the iron. So we can store food without getting it damaged. Without getting it damaged. That is the importance. That means what is the importance of electroplating tin with tin to get tin cans. What is the importance? Tin is less reactive than iron. So food material does not come in contact with what is iron. So the food we can keep for getting without damage. Then another one is we used to make bridges. We used to make with bridges and automobiles with iron bars. Why we use iron bars? This iron bars strength is high. Strength of the iron bars is high. But one problem is that can corrode and also rust. Iron very easily corrode and rust. But for making what is bridges and also what is vehicles, automobiles, etc., we need iron bars. Why? Because iron bar its strength is high. But its problem is its corrode and rust. So by plating with zinc, zinc does not corrode and rust. Zinc does not corrode and rust. So we electroplated iron with zinc in what is iron bars in order to get more strength and to avoid, what is corrosion and rusting. That we can avoid. So what are the uses of this electroplating? What is actually electroplating? That means making a thin layer of one metal over another surface by chemical action. Okay. What are the uses here given here? One, chromium. What is the importance of chromium using for electroplating? It gives a shining appearance and does not corrode and resist scratches. So it is be using to electroplate where, that means automobile parts and also tap and also what is a lighter and bicycle handle and some other regions also we using it. Then another one, jewelry makers also electroplating with gold or silver to make appearance as gold or silver with less cost. Then another one is what is a tin cans. Tin cans, what is electroplating tin cans? Because tin is less reactive. So food is stored in it does not come in contact with the iron inside. And another one is what is why we use iron bars. What is electroplated with zinc. Iron, the problem of iron is what is it is corrode and rust. But by electroplating with zinc, it does not corrode. That means it can prevent corrosion and rusting. So we electroplating here. These are the applications we want to use or we want to know about the process of electroplating. Now you want to remember one more important things that when from the industry or factory where we using electroplating, the electroplating solution is harmful to the environment. Electroplating solution is very harmful to the environment. So we want to deposit or to deposit safely. So there is a strict guidelines given for it. How to that means manage the waste from the electroplating factories. How to manage solution from electroplating factory. There is a strict law is given how to dispose it. Okay. now today we discussed about what is actually electroplating. What is chemical change? Chemical change means what is a change in which one or more new substance is forming. One or more new substance is forming, or some decomposition or some changes of the substance is taking place. Then some activities about it. Then electroplating. Electroplating with what is copper sulfate solution, and how to dispose solutions from that means electroplating solutions from the industry and other things also. Okay, with this we can wind up today's class.